just to catch you, bro. You sound, she sound ugly.
So it's an attack on the federal building or the Capitol building going on, man. Like they literally stormed the federal building, took over offices and all kinds of stuff, man. So um, it's funny that all of the news is reporting on this right now, but Biden had went live about the situation, and they still waiting for Trump to respond. Um, Trump is probably not going to respond, y'all. Just so you know, if he does respond, it's going to be, one of those shrug type deals, possibly. What we seeing right now has never been done as far as with the transferring of power from the White House to what we're seeing right now. So it's kind of crazy that we're actually seeing this go down the way it's going down. I'm going to be doing my radio show. And that radio show was going to be speaking about the governor of Ohio, Mike DeWine, expanding the CCW and the stand your ground to not just in your home or your car, but anywhere you are when you feel threatened, you're able to stand your ground and defend yourself. Right after he was just here speaking about the mass shooting that happened here in Ohio last summer. So he kind of was, did a 180 on that, man. But we're going to be talking about that on the radio show. But for right now, the Capitol building being attacked as we speak. One person was shot as an armed pro-Trump mob breaches in. They said a woman was killed. I don't think y'all understand how serious this is, man. If this ain't the ultimate fear tactic, I don't know what is. But I tell you what, Trump got a game, and
one for our startup with Wix. Check it out.
They've been riding with him from day one.
From President Trump.
I know your pain. I know you're hurt. We had an election that was stolen from us. It was a landslide election, and everyone knows it, especially the other side. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. We have to have law and order. We have to respect our great people in law and order. We don't want anybody hurt. It's a very tough period of time. There's never been a time like this where such a thing happened, where they could take it away from all of us, from me, from you, from our country. This was a fraudulent election, but we can't play into the hands of these people. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special. You've seen what happens. You see the way others are treated that are so bad and so evil. I know how you feel. But go home and go home in peace.
Now, we brought that to you because President Trump on the tape says to his supporters who are right now conducting an armed insurrection on the U.S. Capitol, he tells them to go home. But I also want to note that in that video, he lies about the election being stolen and pours more fuel on the fire. He continues his shameful behavior of lying to his supporters about what happened. It is absolutely disgraceful. I hope they listen to the part in which he said for them to go home. But to be completely frank, there were mixed messages in that video. And I feel ambivalent about the fact that we even aired it, to be honest, although I certainly understand and support the idea that we did. But the idea that the president is not even capable of saying, please go home. He continues to lie to his supporters. And what I wanted to say before, Abby, is I want people to remember how they feel watching these images of the United States Capitol being taken over and these clear acts of sedition and violence and terrorism by Trump supporters, because there's going to be an attempt to whitewash and pretend this didn't happen.
Clearly.
People might attempt to do that, but what we're seeing is pretty clear what is happening. And I think now we have to ask the question, is President Trump capable of leading this country even for the next 13 days? He is inciting
We're trying to
violence
out the
against
gate,
the government itself, lawlessness, vandalism. And
This is really
he's
going
also
down, y'all.
completely MIA in terms of his principal job, which is to keep this country safe, to protect Americans. Let's not even talk about the fact that we're still in the middle of a pandemic. We haven't talked about that today.
Yesterday, the deadliest day of the pandemic so far.
This is a president who is not paying attention to the job and is focused on just one thing, which is his own sense of grievance. That video was a disgrace. The idea that today, on the day that Congress intends to count the electoral votes for Joe Biden, who will be the next president of the United States, Donald Trump still refuses to say that he lost a democratically held election in the United States of America is a profound shame. And it makes us a mockery in the world. As we go around the world talking about democracy, we have a president who is inciting violence at the Capitol and won't acknowledge that he lost an election.
No, I don't understand how the United States, which regularly objects to elections taking place in other countries, Pakistan, Russia, Hong Kong, Taiwan, regularly engages
This is
criticism,
history, man.
of other countries' elections. What is
And I don't think
Senator
it's going to
Hawley or
stop with
Senator
what
Cruz
we're
going to
seeing
say
right now. This is going to be an ongoing
Vladimir
thing.
Putin says it's interesting that you're faulting us for this because you yourself objected to an election and you yourself helped inspire an armed insurrection on Capitol Hill.
You're exactly right.